done. So, Council of Stars, we can't do just yet. Court of the Penitents, we can't do just yet, because this is the end of the story. As far as side quests go, find and capture 3 rare songbirds. We still have to do that one eventually. Heart Bargain. Tell Alari you've dealt with Rinato. Oh, forgot to tell her. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Bug down. Oh, we haven't freed the guy. Poor dude. Oh, that's dumb. Oh, a great and ancient weapon has been dismantled, its pieces strewn about the endless path, blah blah blah. Forge the blade. I had discovered the broken fragments of the ancient sword, and will need to find a skilled smith to reforge this weapon for me before I can wield it. Who's the smith? Oh, it's been a fantastic journey. Oh, are you kidding me, dude? I'm loving every minute of it. Every single minute. No. Where's the smith? Oh, the Crucible Knights. Well, we need to go there anyway, so we'll be good to go. Iron Flame, blast the hammer at the shrines of Abaddon and Crucible Keep. That's fine. The one that got away. Oh, we're gonna have to bring her out there and see what happens with her. This is in Defiance Bay. Is there a button for the party? I kind of wish there was, so I could just like swap him out since I'm in base, you know? Just be like, hey man. It is? Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be so good. Okay, there she is. Let's talk to you.
Comes bearing questions, Watcher.
I have questions for you. When we first met, how was I able to enter your dream?
I do not know. What do you speak of? If you were in my thoughts, I could not feel your presence, nor do I know what you saw there.
As she speaks, you suddenly feel an odd sensation in your mind, as if walking in her thoughts would be as if walking down a back street of merchant stalls. The claustrophobia of wooden shelves and canvas tarps made less oppressive by the sheer number of enticing vials and bottles that stretched out to the sides of you. You suddenly realize that whether she permits it or not, you could enter her dream and observe it without her ever knowing. And in response, your hand twitches. There is a feeling that you could simply pick up a vial, taste it, sample it, and keep the memory as your own. And suddenly you find yourself back in your present thoughts. Though you were away for but a moment, she seems unaware of your diversion of thought. And maybe one of your gifts, an ability to walk in memories as easily as someone walks up on the ground. Perhaps you would like to hear what I saw in your memories. A mixture of curiosity and fear wells up between you. She raises her left hand, the chiming at her wrist quelling the rise within her. She is frightened, but curiosity anchors her.
And what did you see in my memories? I would hear you speak of them.
The dream, the memory I saw upon meeting you. It was you helping give birth to a child. There is silence, and as your breath falls still, you hear the faint cry of a child in the distance. A newborn child, almost exactly like what you have heard in the dream. As you listen, the grieving mother raises both her hands as if weaving, her wrists chiming as she does so, in a semblance of the gentle turning she provides while the newborn was crowning. To your surprise, you recognize the motion and the words from the memory, even as they are new to you. As she weaves her hands through the air in front of her, the child's cries grow still, yet the sound of the chimes weaves almost hypnotically into your thoughts. The sky seems sharp and clear, and you feel as if you are towering over your surroundings, as if kneeling atop a great pillar, just as she did in the memory. To your surprise, the grieving mother falls as if her strings were cut, and her knees crack hard against the ground. Her hands never cease moving in the air, the chimes echoing her movement. In a ragged voice you hear her speak. The voice is that of a much older woman than the one before you, harsh, almost desperate.
Tell me what you saw. Show me what you saw. Where were you?
Her eyes, now terribly sharp and real, are filmed with white, silver white, like Adra. I was in the middle of a forest atop a great plateau. The sky was clear, mist blanketing the trees. As she kneels before you on the ground, she whispers to you, hoarsely and even fainter, with the distance between you two.
The stone of the plateau. Its color. Tell me its color.
I think it was Adra. It was so long ago, man, I forgot. I think it was Adra. Like it was a pillar of Adra, and then she... Pretty sure it was Adra. Do you guys remember? I totally forgot what it was. Let's do Adra. As you watch her hands rise before her, she clasps them, then cups them, as if feeling them for the first time, and she stares down into the cradle of her hands, and the chimes sound once, twice, as they swing with a movement.
And what did these hands hold?
The same chimes you all know. They held a mother while she gave birth, painfully. A newborn child. There is a sudden intake of breath, and then a release. Her eyes blur closed, forming into slits, but in the brief glimpse you have of her changing expression, the rippling pain in her features seems to have smoothed. She swallows once, twice, and then you feel her once again in your thoughts, the rasping husk of her voice swallowed and drawn within her.
It was the birthing bell you saw. Has it been so long? Have I forgotten so much?
There is surprise, followed by a rising horror swirling beneath the words. With the words comes a river of impulses, thoughts, as if loosed from a breaking dam. And as your mind wraps the impulses into words, you realize it is her muscle and her hardened thoughts relaxing and breathing again. There is such an intensity you almost want to step back from the flow, but you find a wave of impulses cause questions to float to the surface. Among them is a name, Watcher. What is the burning bell?
It is a plateau formed of the spirit stone Audra. At its top is set a great bell, cradled in the reaching arm of the plateau. It stirs in the wind, and it sounds for leagues when struck by kith hands. In distant times, the great bell served as a Glanfathan watchtower, perhaps. Why they abandoned it, I do not know. Other men came in time, settlers, and claimed the tower as their own. I, in turn, claimed it from them. The pillar became a cradle where I could draw new souls into the world.
Where is the burning bell located? The burning bell lies deep in the great forest of the Deerwood, at the borders of the Glenfathan lands surrounding it. Barely a town, not one you would find on any map, but it held an important place for those there. Even if we were far from the beaten track, small families tied like a knot, joined at the wrist in mind, in thought, all were welcomed, all had purpose. In your memory, you were helping a woman give birth?
Yes. Yet, I believe you only saw a small part of the birthing ritual. It is not all in a moment, nor in a day. It is a journey of many years between the child, the mother, and I.
There was so much I could do to aid the mother. Some sought the physical comforts of ritual to steady their thoughts, even Adra from the bell. Others would seek advice, words of counsel for the days ahead. I was able to provide draughts, tinctures, and a reading of the child's spirit, all to strengthen the mother. Can you tell me about the birthing ritual?
The ritual was one of many steps. It took many tens of years to carve them, but always the child's thoughts were there to guide me, from the moment it began to awaken, to the 3 seasons within the mother, to the birthing day, and the years to follow. The child's thoughts, that is where it began. The expectant mother, I could often sense her thoughts, and those of her child, before she could. I would soothe her, free her from the panic of questions. I would sound the memory of the birthing bell atop the plateau in her mind, letting the memory of the vibrations fill my thoughts and hers. Often, the child's soul could hear it too, so the sound of the bell echoed in mother's thoughts.
You sense the mother's thoughts. Sharing memories and thoughts can bond lives together, as can hardships, and most of all, the sharing of what is familiar. The bell itself provided shelter for such thoughts, opportunities to see deep into the crevice, hollows in the rock, where one could find shelter, clefts where you could feel the adder all around you. As she speaks, you feel your legs bend, cross, and the warmth of walls around you, and blankets woven thick beneath you. Such shared images can bound souls even tighter and allow them to draw strength from each other. You mentioned the ritual lasted years. What would happen after the birth? Once the pain is channeled away and the mother and child breathe again, I sound the birthing bells on my wrists and allow the mother to hear the child's thoughts, the ringing echoing in each other's thoughts. The bells open the way between them. Let her feelings pass into the newborn and let her feel the child in return. And when the feelings meet, that is when I weave another memory and leave it tied in their mind. Did these bells play an important role in the birthing process? Yes, and for years after, I gave a set to the child after delivery. It is a reminder of the memory the mother and child shared. You feel an odd sensation, a warmth, and you can feel a smile being shared, then it flickers and it is gone. As the bells coax the child forth, so they accompany the child onward, fastened about the wrists to care for him in mind and body. There is no magic in it except the magic of practicality. If a child sought to leave their cradles or escape their cribs, the mother could know through the warning of the chimes alone. At times, if the bond was strong, so would I. The sensation of a smile comes again, slower, more knowing between you. If not watched, children, much trouble may be had from tiny hands. The chimes are kept until the child needs them no longer, when I no longer can hear them sounding in my mind. I know their spirit is changed, and the bonds we shared are long gone. This shedding may last many years, or but a few, but it is necessary. You watch over these children for years after their birth. Children are fragile things. Even the ties of blood and mind may not be enough. They must be watched, and even then the body may fail the mind. But if watched, even the most sickly child may cling to life if determined enough, and many of their soul were tied to me. If a child's spirit failed, I could sound the chimes in their mind and grant them strength, even from afar. It did not always serve, but it gave hope. It sounds like you've seen tragedy too. Enough to never wish to feel it again. In the times before the bell, children who died were cast upon the waters of the lake beyond the bell. Sometimes while alive, if their pasts and futures were deemed weak. It was a different time. Children were treated carelessly. Those times are past. I have other questions about the birthing bell. Why would you give a telling of a child's spirit?
Many would come seeking their child's future, or a reading into the child's past, the lives its soul is said to have lived.
There's a slow chill, and for a moment it seems as if she's going to fade from your vision, as if she can't bear to be seen, and there's a spike of fear, alarm.
Such things are not mine to see. I meant no offense.
Oddly enough, it feels like she's not speaking to you. It feels like she's speaking to an audience. The air takes on a curious edge, a chill, which persists for a sharp moment, then fades into a dull fear. You feel the word watcher resounding in her mind. You're frightened, something about watchers. As the thought of watchers crosses your mind, you feel a sharp pain, stabbing, and a sudden burn of lashes across your back and shoulder, and then it is gone, and you feel the grieving mother before you, silent, almost fearful, wary.
I was something else, but because the title Watcher was cast on me, the word carried a weight I had neither earned nor deserved. The world seems filled with such titles. They distract, I think, from the actions of the person, from their strengths.
Why did you believe you were a watcher?
The world has many corners, and in some corners the name Watcher is more known. It is an easier title than others, and at times it is easier to wear. Placing a title upon what is unknown can dispel the fear of it, and I did not fight it. I even believed it true, though I knew little of the ways of Watchers. It even granted me strength. I was able to see the thoughts of others, shape them, and help guide souls. Watcher seemed enough, and the name seemed to matter little in the light of one's acts.
But if they came to you to read their child's soul, what did you tell them?
I drew upon the present. I felt the soul of the mother before me, and used that to tell the child's path, to give it a voice. If only the thoughts of the mother and the emotions that lie beneath were mine to impart. I did, and so I used that as the telling of their child's future.
What if it turned out to be untrue?
Futures fulfilled by one's own spirit are as strong as anything seen by another's eyes. And if one draws from the emotion of the mother, it matters only when harm is done. And their lives I knew well. I could weave their lives, their thoughts over time, to the mother, to the child. And once the child had been born, was sheltered, I could relax the threads of thought until the child could stand on its own.
So you shaped their thoughts, made the readings true.
This is my calling, to show them the life I see before them, and even greater, make them believe it.
This is not what a watcher does. We do not shape minds, we see them as they are.
Even the most strongly worded tells may not be enough to save a child and allow it to be born. If I have the strength to strip away the stem of a mother's spite to expose kindness, weave nurturing from disdain and neglect, then that is my calling. And with the weight of Watcher behind my thoughts, these tells gain strength. Strength I never possessed on my own. They believed. And what they believed became the truth. With each child that was set upon that path, the title of Watcher became stronger. You must understand, without such weight upon my words, many lives would have been lost, drowned, cast in the lake beyond the bell. Now the trail to the lake is lost and reclaimed by the forest, as was meant. A Watcher was not there to look over us, but it was a Watcher that saved them. And with a Watcher's strength, children were born, were cared for, and grew strong.
It seems your readings were necessary.
What use is a frightened will when a spirit is at stake? Would you let the fears of a mother end her newborn's life? You felt it in the memory, the weight of it, the importance of the child's life. It was a memory we shared.
Did we share that memory or did you inflict it upon me? And suddenly there is a rasping cry across your consciousness. She raises her hands and you see the chimes draped from them, yet they make no sound as she moves.
A greater good was done, and children were saved. It is a choice you may be forced to make one day, and when faced with it, you will make the same one.
Yes, I'm certain I will.
That is good, Watcher.
I want to discuss something different. How is it no one can see you?
Their eyes see, but their minds will not remember past the call.
A call?
My face is like the call of a newborn, hiding the face beneath. And for my body, I am able to wrap myself as a mother cradling her child. I am here, as you see me, but to them, their eyes see only the cloak that I wear. A peasant mother, dirty, shabby, not worth knowing. As a Watcher, you see more than others. To the eyes of most, I am as unseen as the spirits you share memories with.
How are you able to affect minds? I divert the flow of their senses down a different path to a place easily forgotten. It is not unwelcome when one does not desire the presence of others. The surface of their minds register a figure, but the memory slips away. They see a woman, but there is no desire for conversation, no desire for any questions, and I have none to ask. I wanted to know...
It is because I once believed I was one, and others believed I was one.
There's another name for someone with our abilities. This cipher does not define you any more than Watcher does. It diminishes the nature of who you are, dims the flame of thought and drive. Yet, if it calms others to define you in such a way, then comfort may be taken in that. That is a cloak as well that serves to dispel fear, hate. Do you know anything about Watchers? I feel that they were once marked, hated. Such hate feels dim now, I can feel it. Others' hatreds have risen for other titles, but they burned bright in the past. Now hates have shifted focus, and they may fall on the same again, either you or me. The world has many yeah, we've read that before. Let me ask you about something else.
And are you? In asking, we reveal ourselves to each other.
Why are you called the grieving mother? The air seems to go still for a moment, and time stretches as it did before when the two of you first met. There's a wash of uncertainty from her mind, slowly shaping into questions that swirl and do not coalesce. She does not move. She seems paralyzed, as if you have just wrapped her in a cold blanket.
That is a question for you, not I. That is not my name, although if you wish to hang the title on me, I cannot stop you. Is that what you see when your eyes fall upon me?
So, I named you. As a watcher, you may see what I do not, or your mind shapes the thoughts I project into a new meaning. There is truth in that title, but it is not all I am. So what do you grieve then? You must have felt it, seen it. It has as many names as the pain it has caused. As the words take shape, they seem to tumble from her, and the wave is great, rushing into your mind. To your surprise, you feel as if you've been touched by the Bewick again, and behind it, cutting through the torrent like a knife, are the thoughts of the grieving mother. There is a wound cut across the belly of the world, a jagged knife that has stripped the stems from men and carved furrows across the wombs of women. There is much I have forgotten, but I can feel the wound all around me. It will not let me rest, not let me be. The children have gone silent, yet their voices may be heard again. So you're speaking of the Oloborn. The word. There is slowness of thoughts, as if the word is being weighed, accepted. It doesn't feel natural to her, you can sense it. It was once unknown to me, as much of what unfolded in the outside world. When the curse came upon us, I thought it a smaller thing, a thing of communities and hearts. Her thoughts seemed to stumble as if on weak legs. It was only when I walked did I feel it stretching around me, in all the cracks of the world. Children have been cursed. I do not think it was something they caused, nor something deserved. That which is inside them has been torn away. I do not know how, but this wound must be stitched closed. The world bleeds forth from between a woman's leg. If this blood is not stemmed, the world will die and grow quiet. Do you know its cause? There is desperation, a welling fear. You can almost feel her thoughts shivering, and you realize she is as lost as you are on the matter, and then a sudden sharp clarity. I shall know it through you. Your eyes will track the cause, find the path, and I will be beside you. There's no wound that cannot be healed, and if you are truly a watcher, then this wound may be seen for what it is. You saw me where I hid. Whoever's hand have stilled the world, you shall see them too. And if there's no way to heal it, what then? I will be there. You will do what must be done. You were giving your side so that you may watch the world, and you will tend it. The children shall have their voice again, and if your will is weak, then I shall strengthen it. Lean upon me. You feel a weight in her words, as if her hands on your shoulders. You feel the questions in your mind lose their edge and become merely words. As I lean upon you, you shall be my eyes, and I shall be your hands when the time comes. Oh, hell. How do I make it so that they talk more now? Do I just...
Your thoughts must flow
Your
deeply.
mind
Comes
indeed.
bearing questions. The birthing bell.
How do I make it so that she talk to me more? Because it's supposed to be by venturing together.
Yeah?
But I don't want to venture with all my characters, you know?
Sure.
Damn it.
I will wait in the place of your strength.
Hey there.
Oh well. Oh well. We have to go to Heritage Hill. We have to go to Heritage Hill for the Sword of Pelagina. Then we have to figure out how we're gonna do the thing. I just hope I don't need to like just wander around with them a while for the story to pop, you know? Okay. Now we're here. What's that with the sword? Okay, we have to rest
Hey there.
here. The loamy soil squishes underfoot and something invisible seems to rise from it. You detect essence, faint and barely perceptible, drifting upon from the graveyard. The Grey Sleeper seems to feed on it, and the strange voice grow quieter still. Another verse gleam in the steel. Fingers of the world, address strong and whole. Kneel before the pillars, bring order to your soul. Pillars. Magrin's Fork? Maybe? Maybe it's Magrin's Fork. What the hell? But did I miss these guys the first time I explored?
Margarin's fire casts light.
Oh, that's
in
funny.
dark places.
It's like, hey, monsters that I'm not supposed to, you know, I've missed. Yes, it's here. Yeah, there we go. Kneel. A deep and mighty power emanates from the Adra pillars. It resonates in the Grey Sleeper. As you kneel, the voices in the Grey Sleeper reach a low, peaceful harmony. A final surge of energy fills the blade, and the voice falls silent. You feel the curse snap like a rotten cord. Twin Stone. Man, this is a pretty good sword, actually.
Hey there.
Yeah, we'll keep it. Why not? Right. Now we need to go here. Here. I need to buy some camping supplies from the vendor. Did you change your party in any inn? That'd be great if that was the case. Okay, let's do 2. I forgot to have him look. Nope. Oh yeah. Langret's mental shield. Prevents charmed, terrified, stunned, frightened, dominated, distracted, dazed, and confused. Twice.